Welcome to the Hutchinson County Podcast. Today is May the 30th, 2025. My guest today is Brandi Willimon with the Stinnett Rattler Reunion by telephone. Brandi, welcome to the Hutchinson County Podcast.
Hello, my old friend. How are you?
Doing good. It's been a long time.
Sure has.
It's been a very long time. So the folks that don't know who you are, give us your background from high school till now.
Okay, sure. I went to school in Stinnett, and then I graduated at Comanche, and then moved to Austin, went to school down there, then moved to Houston. I'm married to Chad, who is class of 88, first year of the Comanches. He was also a lifelong Rattler, and we have 4 boys, and we live in Kingfisher, Oklahoma.
Kingfisher, I've got a lot of oil terminals and
That's right.
everything else in Kingfisher. I've heard that name quite frequently in the business I am in. Okay, our next question, Brandi. We'll go back in the time machine. We'll talk about your experience. I know you were in 7th grade, and then they voted for the consolidation, and you went into 8th grade, and the junior high was actually moved out to the Clemens School. So tell us about what you felt when the consolidation passed, and then the summer and the start of the next school year, and how that changed your life.
That's right. So I always kind of joke that, Chad always says that they had it the hardest because they only got to do 1 year, and they kind of were thrown into it with sports and everything, and trying to get to know their teammates. And I can see that. But, as kids, whenever you think, okay, you're an adolescent, and it's kind of tough anyway, but we thought we knew where we were headed, and then everything was kind of changed, and we got thrown out into the country with a bunch of kids from Phillips. And, whenever you are growing up a Rattler, a lifelong Rattler with multi-generation Rattlers like you, that's kind of the enemy. Phillips, it's like, no way, what are we doing? Because we just were constantly battling in sports, and it was tough. And being out there kind of in the middle of nowhere, you were just thrown together. And, lots of us who never rode the bus were riding the bus for the first time. And it was just kind of a melting pot. And it was, I don't relish my time out there at the Clemens campus, to be honest with you. But it wasn't terrible, let's just say. But I sure was sad that we got rid of our, mascot and all of our maroon and white, and everything was just a drastic change.
Yes, I feel fortunate. The transition was not different for me. We stayed in the same building. We just showed up day one with a bunch of new people, and the school had been painted. But there was a lot of places of the school that still had the maroon and white, and there was still the big logo there in the old Commons area. And the first football game, if you went to one, everybody had Phillips and Rattler gear on at the game for most of the year, and a lot of new stuff. But yeah, I honestly miss the Rattler. And about 10 years ago, a reunion event was out at my mom's, and I got to meet some of the ex-Rattlers. And after they figured out I didn't graduate a Rattler, they wanted to hear the story about the consolidation. I said, this is how it felt for us. We weren't just all on board with the new school colors, the new name, no school song for 2 years, no band uniforms.
That's true. That is true.
But the upside is there was 100 and some people in band, 100 and some people come out for football. That people felt like they had a second chance. They were at these 2 schools, even Clemens, and gave people an opportunity to try to do something, wanted to be part of something new and something special, and that's how it kind of goes. But
that's true.
But yeah, it was a different deal back then. But I was really happy to tell the Rattlers our experience, because I was a Rattler. I was the last 8th grade class, junior high class, of being a Rattler, and then go to be a Comanche. And that was even weird to say. We were at a scrimmage in Canadian, our first one, and somebody yelled, "Go Comanches," and we all turned and looked at each other like, that just don't sound right. Everything. Bought this in school, that's been 30 plus years ago, and we're here to talk about some Rattler reunion stuff.
Yeah.
So
it's hard to believe, isn't it? It seems like a long time.
It's hard to believe. Yes, it is. It goes by too fast. So I'll ask you, Brandi, how long have you been involved with the Rattler reunion?
So, We got involved, kind of dipped a toe in doing the golf scramble. Kevin Frericks was in charge of the golf scramble for the Rattlers for several years. And, Kevin got sick in 2007, I'd say late 16, early 17, and he could not, he got sick pretty quick, and he could not do the golf scramble. So Chad and I are both golfers, Chad especially, but we jumped in, and I do events for my job for a long time. And so I enjoy putting those on. So we just jumped in with both feet, but just for the golf. And that was 2017. And the reunion happens every other year. And so for 2017, we just did the golf. And then in 2019, they asked me if I would take an officer position. So I became the treasurer. And Leslie Munden is an officer also. And she switches positions with officers every now and then, because believe it or not, it's hard to get officers for this club. There's a lot of people who want to support it, but there's just not a lot of people who want to be in charge of it. And I think that that's true for a lot of things. So, I couldn't figure out how I could do this remotely, but honestly, just doing it every couple of years makes it okay. So then we started going to the banquet. Chad and I started going to the banquet in 17, and we were like, this is so much fun. And I know that I knew so many people there because of older siblings. Chad didn't realize how many people he would know just because people knew him from sports or old coaches. And it just kind of snowballed, and we just became super involved. And I know I mentioned this to you, Jason, when we first started talking about this, but if we don't have younger people involved who maybe didn't, quote, graduate a Rattler, there's no more new Rattlers coming up, and this reunion's going to go away for these older Rattlers because they can't do it all, and they're getting older, and it's just, we got to get more people involved. So I'm really glad that you asked me to do this today.
Well, I was excited about it, and I followed it since they've been doing it, and I like the format that you do it every other year. That gives a build up to it. You're not doing it every year or every 5 years. It's frequent enough and an older crowd that keeps people interested in coming back when it's done every couple of years. And I like the format. We tried to copy it with the Comanche reunion and had a big 30-some people turnout for 30 years and kind of folded. And with the Rattlers, it's doing real good. And the people that have been doing it from the beginning till now, what I hear from people, very successful. All the events, everybody has a good time. You see it on social media. All the people take picturs, and everybody's smiling and having a good time, and it's a great thing. And I'm glad, yes, you and Chad's older than me. I'm actually, between y'all two and stuff, but younger people stepping up, and that is a good point. It's dying off, and we need to keep it going until as long as we can. And very thankful for what you and Chad have done over the years with the golf tournament. Now you are the vice president. I thought you were the secretary, but so what kind of more did you have to do this go around being vice president than when you had the secretary?
Vice secretary is, kind of communications. So you send out all the forms and the email responses and keeping up with addresses. It's a little bit more, not bookwork like accounting, but just, keeping the communication up. Christy Pry, she's class of 86. I kind of asked her last time if she would step up and do secretary. I was a secretary before. I've been treasurer, secretary, now I'm vice president. But Christy, she works at Tarleton and lives in Stephenville, and her brother, Curtis Price, was class of 82. And her dad was a Rattler for just a couple of years in the 50s, but she really just feels a very strong connection to the Rattlers and loves to, she's kind of a makeshift historian, just like Leslie is, just loves all the history of the school and the town. So that helps. I was going to mention, too, something you made me think of, the Blackhawks. They have a huge reunion. And we have about 100 people that come to our banquet, and we'll get about 11, 12 teams of 4 that come to the golf. So we'll maybe, get 50 people. Now, a lot of people come to the golf scramble and hang out. We get about 50, 52 golfers. But the Blackhawk reunion, I'm always shocked to see how many people come. That was such a tiny school, but they have nothing left of their school. We at least have the shell of the building, and I don't know. They really feel so connected, deeply connected to their school. They really show up. And so I just want to throw that in. We'd love to be able to rival them in numbers, obviously, because we're still in competition with them.
Oh, yes.
We can't let that die.
Oh, yeah, and you've
But,
ever been in their Heritage Center.
Yes.
Hundreds of class rings have been donated.
Yes.
It's like, first
It's
time I went in
nice.
there, I was blown away by what they have done and what they have accomplished on that room. It is just amazing.
It is. It's really nice. When you asked me about being VP, I'm sorry I moved away from that.
No, you're good. We get the word out and get people excited about the Rattler reunion. That's what it's all about. These are
I
just
don't really know what I do as VP, other than just organize. I'm ordering the T-shirt. Of course, I do that every year anyway. I'm ordering the T-shirt to the golf, ordering the T-shirt to the banquet. Our president, Donna Sharp Haynes, had knee replacement surgery. So we're kind of ham and egging getting donations for our auction that we have and whole sponsorships, and a lot of people will just do cash donation. We do giveaways. We do a 50-50 drawing. It's just a lot of kind of legwork to do. So just trying to help fill in the gaps where she can't do anything. But really, I'm just kind of here in an administrative role right now. But it's a great time. It is a lot of work for us, but it's a really fun time. Last year or 2 years ago, we did a 50-50 drawing. The cash, you keep 50% for the house and then 50% is given away. And that dadgum David Shelton, who wins every drawing I've ever seen, won that pot. I think it was like $560 he won. And we have a band this year. Geezer's Gone Wild. I started to say Sparky and the Wild Turkeys. Geezer's Gone Wild, because I always tease them that there's the Sparky and the Wild Turkeys 2.0.
Oh, yes.
Live band. People really love the live band. We've tried the DJ format. It just didn't go over as well as the live band for these guys.
Yes, and it's an attractive event and everything. So we'll go to that subject. We'll talk about the events, dates and times, and what events you're going to have.
So Friday, June 27th, I think that's right, is the meet and greet at the Heritage Center. We do that from, let's see, I think we have that from 7 to 9. That's right. So everybody comes to the Heritage Center. We open it up. People, take pictures in there with, the memorabilia, and we have T-shirts for sale. The T-shirts that we do every year for the reunion. We'll have some Rattler memorabilia for sale. Sometimes we have caps, like hats, stickers, T-shirts, and then people just meet up in there, and then a lot of times people will leave there with their classmates and they'll have something planned afterwards. So they'll go to someone's house, and that's kind of what, like if it's your, say, 20th or 30th, 40 or 45th or 50th, they'll get together on their kind of special years and do something. And then bright and early Saturday morning, we have our golf scramble, and it's at the Phillips Golf Course. And we have a Bloody Mary bar that starts about 7:15. And Michelle Griffin from Amarillo National Bank in Borger, the bank donates everything for the Bloody Mary bar. So we have Michelle out there tending bar for us. And she makes a really good Bloody Mary. It's got beef jerky, bacon, olives, green beans, celery. It's like a whole smorgasbord in a cup. So she makes those, and we get everybody signed up. We like for people to pre-register, but people come and, get their swag bags and buy their mulligans and get their coolers loaded down, and then we're off at 8 o'clock.
Okay,
and so,
we want to specify, too, the Phillips Golf Course is the one in the Gateway Edition. It's not out there at Uber. Sometimes a lot of people that don't live here or been gone for a long time don't remember that, but it's the one in the Gateway Edition. It's not the one out there at the Country Club. So get that clarified on that end.
That's right. And I want to real quick say that if anybody, the registration forms for all this stuff is on the SHS alumni Facebook page. I'm also going to ask you to share it on your podcast page, the paperwork for this event.
Yes,
the
I
golf
can do that.
And the weekend. But on the golf, the only caveat to play in the golf scramble, because we do want to kind of keep it close to our heritage, you have to be married to, a parent of, a grandchild of, not a parent of, I guess you can be a parent of, but your parent, grandparent, somebody in your family has to be a legacy Rattler, even if it's just for 1 year, kindergarten through 12th. We just like to keep somebody related to the school.
Yeah, I've gotten that question a lot doing the reunion stuff over the years. I got 10 people to come one time. You don't have to be a graduate of the school. If you've been there for a year and you left, you're welcome to come. So, want to hammer that point home too. If you're thinking about coming to this for the first time, you do not have to be a graduate of Stinnett High School. If you came for a year, they consider you a Rattler.
That's right. You're a Rattler. So you bleed maroon. But yeah, for the golf, we don't, for example, we don't want, a bunch of people from Panhandle, coming and winning our trophy and putting it in our Heritage Center. We want somebody to be related. We have people who have married to Rattlers that put in a team of, other people, but they're married to a Rattler, and it's somebody, and it's fine. We just want to kind of keep it close to what we're trying to do for the Heritage event. And then that afternoon, starting at 1:00 at the band parking lot, which is behind the old wood shop, behind the old band hall for the old Rattlers. It's on the west side of the school. From 1 to 4, there is a car show. And the car show, last year we had a huge turnout for the car show. We also have a registration form for that. Donald Ray Phillips is the chairperson for that car show this year. And we like for them to be Rattlers at some point, kindergarten through 12th, at some point have attended Stinnett school. And just bring your antique car, come out there, bring your Easy Up if you have one, the little tent. And that happens at the same time as the ice cream social, which is from 2 to 4. And that happens in the I think it's in the cafeteria area. That's where the cafeteria is now, I think, right? Where the old foyer and commons used to be.
I'm not. I thought they built a new cafeteria on the west side closer to the south. I'm not 100%.
But yes, it's back there in that little alcove. That's the entrance to the cafeteria somewhere. So anyway, the car show happens in conjunction with that. So you can kind of come and go, get your ice cream, and go out there and look at the cars. It's a great event. But with the golf, I want to say we also have lunch provided with the golf. We usually get out of there about 1:00. So a lot of people just head straight to the ice cream after that. But we have lunch, and we have little giveaways. We have door prizes, and we have nice little swag bag and everything. And with the car show, whoever entries, they drew a drawing for all the entries, and somebody wins a cash gift card. And then that ends about 4:00. So ice cream and car show ends about 4. And then everybody goes and gets ready for the banquet. And the doors open. It's at the Elks Club in Borger. And so the doors for that open at 6:30, and we'll serve dinner. We'll serve dinner and have a little program and an auction, and that'll go till 11.
Okay, the Elks Club is a pretty nice facility. It looks from the outside just average looking, but it is very nice inside and very hospitable with a nice bar. So mention that to folks.
And very affordable. It's really affordable to buy drinks in there. Like right now, sometimes you go someplace and you'll pay $10 for just one beverage, but they're really great to us there. They have a full bar, and they treat us right over there. And we're going to have it catered by, it'll be barbecue, and it's Smitty Brothers out of Borger.
Yes, I know them guys real well. They actually give me a hard time when I see them. Yes, great guys, Smith Brothers. I joke with them too, bald guys with the barbecue trailer guys and stuff. If they're listening, taking a shot down, which they do that to me. So it's all good and fun. So Brandi, go ahead, finish what you got.
They do a great job, and so they'll be catering that for us. So, and we'll have a dance.
Sounds very good. Okay, the next subject would be people to thank and any sponsors to thank, and talk about your other board members.
Okay, sure. Well, we definitely always want to thank especially our alumnus who come from a long distance. We have people that come from Colorado, California. We have people that come from the Midwest, Wisconsin. We definitely want to thank them for always trying to make the trip. Our sponsors, our big sponsors are Border Bank. They're one of our largest sponsors. Randy Dixon is a huge contributor for us. We really appreciate Randy. We have a bevy of whole sponsors, and I don't have them in front of me. I wish I would have grabbed it, but I left it on my desk. We have a lot of, and another thing we do with our whole sponsorships, and I really think it's sweet, is we have people who buy memorial holes. Like, for example, I don't think they would mind if I said, but Stanley and Jerry Ayler buy a hole in honor of their sons, Stantu and Casey. And so you can buy the Robinson kids used to buy one for Mrs. Robinson. Things like Mr. and Mrs. Robinson, both of them. So we really appreciate people to help us be creative in raising money, because it's ultimately for scholarships. My other board members are Christy Price. She is the secretary of 86. Leslie Munden, I think Leslie is class of 74, most certain. Leslie Bruce Munden. And then Donna Sharp Payne's class of 73 is the president. Leslie's the treasurer. And Donna is the president. We have a lot of help from some other people who help us. Randy Beatty is always really good to do whatever we need him to do. He drives down and helps us. And then, of course, Denise Peck Thomas always lends a hand whenever we need anything from her. But on our sponsors, we would love to have more sponsors. Always love to have more sponsors. So we're always looking for donations for the auction. Leslie always donates a really nice photographic print. Duck Doughton Reed, she's given us some really nice repurposed antiques that she's painted up. In fact, a really beautiful rocking chair she did last time for us, and it was just awesome. And people were just drooling over it. And so for the auction, we would love to have more people give us some things to auction off.
Always helpful. Yes, never get enough donations for something like this and everything. My last question for you, we're going to shift gears and give you a political question.
Okay, great.
It's been in the news a lot. They've been talking about this for months. Depends on who you talk to, good or bad. Trump's big, beautiful bill, good or bad? That kind of puts you on the spot there, Brandi.
In theory, I think good. I think it's been watered down to where it's kind of meh, kind of milquetoast, Well, I don't think it was all intended to be. It's
Washington. It's I will vote for it if you let me have this. Sure. I'll vote for you if you take this out. Kind of a give and trade, and all the swindling and
just ends up
crappiness and turn something good into crap. And they also always politicize the great parts of it, but you get to read it. It's probably 10,000 pages. I mean, I've not researched it or anything.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
I just thought I'd throw that kind of question out there for you.
Why not? You know me.
I know. I see your Facebook post. That's why I asked the question. So, any final thoughts, Brandi?
So there was something I was thinking about. Oh, I did want to mention. So this ultimately is a fundraiser for scholarships for kids that go to West Texas High School. They also have to have. We have some criteria. We do a Kevin Frericks Memorial Scholarship that the funds from the golf tournament fund that. The line item from the golf tournament funds that, and then. They usually equal out, though, to be the same as the Rattlers. We want to be fair to the kids that are all receiving it. The other scholarships we'll give away, depending on the amount of money we raise each year, we will give away 2, 3, possibly even 4 scholarships to kids and there's an application process. The connection that you have to have is, once again, you have to have a family member who was a Rattler at some point. So you can be the grandkid of a person who just went to Stinnett in first grade. Or it has to have that connection, but you have to have some kind of connection to the Rattlers to win those SHS alumni scholarship. However, the Kevin Frericks Scholarship, it's open. It's an open scholarship to any applicant who goes to West Texas High School. So we have a scholarship committee, and they are there on scholarship day when they do the interviews and everything. So, the more money we raise, the more kids we can help.
Sounds like a plan. It sounds all good, Brandi. I wish y'all good luck. If I may try to make it out there, one of the events, and just say hello to you and Chad and the rest of the folks. When I talked to Gina Gillespie today by Messenger, I said the name, and she said, I think that girl has a connection to Spearman. I said, I think Chad's older brother Michael lives in
Yes.
Spearman, if I'm correct. And then that's when
That's
she
right.
goes, that is correct. And his son, I remember seeing a few pictures somewhere. His son played for Spearman here a few years back
Uh-huh.
and everything.
Yeah. Michael is an accountant. Oh, I need to thank Brown Graham. Brown Graham is one of our big sponsors, and Michael's real good to help us. He's a partner up there in the accounting firm of Brown Graham. And, yep, they're in Spearman. They had 2 sons, and they're both grown and married. But, yep, we have some folks from Spearman who are good to help us out with our reunion, too. So definitely want to thank them.
Yes,
but
definitely.
I would love to see you. Love to see you, Jason, if you could come out.
Yes, yeah, we'll try to come out and make sure something don't come up. It's always a fun event. I see it on Facebook, and this might be the year I make an appearance and say hello to everybody.
Okay.
And
well, your dad would be proud if you did. Your mom and dad.
Yes.
But yes, thank you so much for the opportunity to get this out there, and we'll look forward to seeing you.
Okay, yes, and thank you for getting the time to do this and everything. This is the first one I've done audio on a phone. Had to come across the street to the neighbor's house. You're actually on her phone. Got it put up against the microphone. But I got a good picture of you and Chad, and we'll see how it turns out, and we'll have it on YouTube and share it to Facebook and share it everywhere else and go from there. So,
alrighty, thanks for your time.
So that's a wrap on this week's episode. Be sure to check out the Hutchinson County podcast on Facebook and YouTube, and go to High Plains Observer Facebook page and highplainsobserver.com, Hutchinson County. So for myself and Brandi, we are out of here.